What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the June 24th, 2024 edition of Raw Talk. Megan Morant, Sam Roberts in the studio, running down the biggest headlines from Monday's show. Another really good episode of Raw overall. Thought last week's show was great. I think they followed up on that edition really well on Monday night. They kind of get into here about how they show some footage from the Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas sit-down, which was the highlight of the night last night. For a very good show, that was the best part about it. That Bo Dallas Uncle Howdy video package, VHS tape, whatever you want to call it. The footage they showed of those two, the whole sit-down thing, was excellent. That was awesome. And Sam says what we're all thinking in that sit-down gave us more kind of insight, gave us more to know about the Wyatt Six motivation. Now we know more about their motivation than we did even a week ago. They replay Drew McIntyre's promo addressing his attack of CM Punk on SmackDown and vowing to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So they preview Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov in a triple threat match for next Monday's Raw to determine the last slot on the Raw side for the men in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. That's going to be a fucking banger. Like Sheamus says all the time, banger after banger after banger. That match is going to be amazing. I cannot wait for that match. Speaking of qualifiers, they replay Chad Gable beating Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman in a triple threat on Monday night to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Sam Roberts calls it a massive win for Gable. They preview what we know so far of the men's Money in the Bank field. They recap Karrion Kross beating Kofi Kingston. We hear from Karrion Kross afterward with Kathy Kelly. He says that he beat Kofi Kingston without interference at ringside. That's what he told the New Day last week, and that's exactly what happened. Except for the fact that AOP attacked Xavier Woods backstage, and he says that he has forgiveness in his heart. He probably would have done that, but AOP is going to go ahead and do whatever they want. And he also says that he does not tell AOP what to do, unlike with Kofi Kingston telling Xavier Woods what to do. And he says that Xavier will continue to suffer the longer that he's with Kofi Kingston, and asks him, are you the Shawn Michaels or are you the Marty Jannetty? Really good stuff here from Karrion Kross. I'm glad that he won on Monday. The guy almost never really wrestles nowadays, never really wins ever also. But I'm glad that he picked up that win on Monday night. The New Day feud really isn't anything special. I don't think Karrion will come out of this a bigger star than he already is, which is to say that he isn't really that big of a star right now as it is. I really like Karrion Kross. I think he consistently kills it with the promos. It's just not even really the presentation. Like, the booking is the main issue. He doesn't have, I don't want to say he doesn't have charisma, because I think it comes across in these promos. I think the issue is they don't really make him out to be a big deal on the shows themselves. He does his best work on the mic on shows like Raw Talk, where no one really sees it. It's kind of part of the problem. But anyway, they replay the Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, Gunther segment, where they raise the stakes for the World Heavyweight Championship match at Money in the Bank. If Rollins wins, Damian Priest is out of Judgment Day. But if Damian Priest wins, Rollins can no longer challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian Priest is champion. They preview the matchup for the pay-per-view. Sam Roberts calls Damian Priest after his line about, if I leave Judgment Day, doesn't matter because I don't need them the same way they need me. He calls Damian Priest the hater of the night. They then preview another newly made Money in the Bank matchup. Not a Money in the Bank ladder match, but rather a match for Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker. And Sam Roberts says that Sami Zayn's confidence is starting to fail him. And I think we're getting a new champion at Money in the Bank, in my personal opinion. They replay Lyra Valkyria beating Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane in a triple threat to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We don't hear from Lyra afterward. We actually heard from her in a separate WWEBackstage.com video. They put that up on their YouTube channel and social media last night. We actually hear from Ivy Nile here, which was kind of random, but she gets asked by Jackie Redmond about Chad Gable and her and the Creed brothers interacting with him backstage on Raw. Now, this isn't the first time that we've seen Gable interacting with them on Raw. We've seen them in the background talking, Gable with Ivy Nile, Gable with the Creed brothers, Gable, I think, with all three of them at one other point on Raw in recent weeks. So this isn't really a new thing. But Jackie asks her about that, and she says that, Gable's been great to go to for advice, and, Gable's a great athlete. We just wanted to check if he was all right. Clearly, they are planting the seeds for a new Team Gable, not Alpha, maybe Alpha Academy. Maybe they'll call it that. They probably shouldn't, though. I would just move in a different direction with something else. With a heel group with Chad Gable and Diamond Mine. Probably Ivy Nile as well. I did not think Ivy Nile would be involved, but it looks like she probably will be, and that's totally fine. It's not as if she's really doing much on her own anyway. But I thought that was interesting. They acknowledged that here. We're clearly getting closer to it, which is great. But then she kind of shifts her focus to the Money in the Bank qualifying match that we have coming up next week. Herself, I forgot who else is in there. I think Zoe Stark. It's herself, Zoe Stark, and I don't remember the third person, but she just says that she will not waste this opportunity. Sam Roberts then says that it makes sense for Diamond Mine to go to Chad Gable for advice, because why wouldn't they? They replay Isla Dawn and Alba Fire beating Katana Chance and Kaden Carter in tag team action. We hear from Alba Fire and Isla Dawn backstage afterward. And Alba Fire says they have targets on their backs. Isla Dawn says that the competition can step up because regardless of whether it's Shayna and Zoe, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, they will still be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They replay, or rather preview, Zelina Vega challenging Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship on next week's Raw. They replay the main event from Monday's Raw last night, with Awesome Truth losing the World Tag Team Championships to JD McDonough and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. And Sam Roberts says that Liv Morgan, who kind of played a pretty big factor in Judgment Day winning that matchup last night, is a good person to have on your corner, having your corner on your side. They preview Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens teaming up against the Bloodlines. Seemingly Tama Tonga, Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu. It looked like that from the graphic, and that Tonga Loa would not be in the matchup. But maybe it's any three combination of that four, and we don't know yet. That's what the graphic depicted to me. Because Tonga Loa was off on the side a little bit with Paul Heyman, so I'm not exactly sure. But they did make that match official for Money in the Bank via the graphic they aired on Raw last night, and they talk about that again here for the pay-per-view next weekend, like I mentioned. So that was Raw Talk in a nutshell for June 24th, 2024. Thank you guys for checking out my review. Solid stuff this week, hearing from Ivy Nile, Dawn and Fire, Karrion Kross. The Karrion Kross was his promo was the best thing on the entire episode here. The Dawn and Fire promo was whatever. The Ivy Nile promo was interesting for what it might be foreshadowing with her and the Creeds and Chad Gable, which I'm looking forward to. The Karrion Kross promo was the best thing on the entire episode. His mic work is consistently great in my opinion, and I always look forward to what promos he's going to be cutting on these shows, whether it's on this show or backstage on WWE.com, WWE social media. They don't really allow him to cut these same sort of promos on Raw itself. That's kind of part of the problem, like I said earlier. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out my review. Per usual, I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have an awesome one, folks. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.